reasons I do meal planning each week is so that you get ideas for what kinds of things you can make for your family to keep you on a low carb, high fat eating plan. We learned early on that by planning and by having really delicious, satisfying foods, we didn't miss any of those foods that we used to eat. I also figured out early on that once I kind of built a repertoire of new recipes, of new things to make, then I wouldn't fall into the habit of relying on those old kind of weekday habits when I had new things to make. So one of the new things that I discovered was based on one of my husband's favorites, and he loves spicy foods, and he really likes jambalaya, and he likes gumbo. Well, I call this Gumbalaya, which is kind of a combination between gumbo and jambalaya. And I call it that because I use all the traditional kinds of things. I use the kielbasa. Now, this was a lower carb than some of the others. Make sure you read the ingredients. This is 2 carbs per serving. And so this entire package, which I will use, contributes, I think, about 12 carbs. A lot of it's 3 carbs per serving. So make sure you read the package and find the lowest carb count you can. But I'm going to use kielbasa, and I'll use some shrimp, and this is Argentinian shrimp. I love this. It's wild caught, and I usually buy it when it's on sale, buy one, get one free. And I'll use chicken. Now, this is a really large pack of chicken, so I'll probably only use about 2/3 of this chicken in the jambalaya. I'll save out a breast or 2 and fix that for my son, who is not a fan of the spiciness. A bell pepper, onion, and some frozen okra goes in that. I only use about 1/2 to 3/4 cup of okra because it is carby, and when I add the tomato sauce and tomato paste in it, and I'll thin it with some bone broth. But so I try to keep the carbs lower. But this is absolute family favorite. I'll make it for dinner on one night. It serves for leftovers. It serves for lunches. In fact, my daughter and husband will fight over the leftovers again. I'm going to serve it this time over miracle rice, and I probably will end up doing a video of this Gumbalaya recipe because it is so good. But I would definitely make that as a family favorite, and I will serve it over this miracle rice, which if you haven't used, you have to learn how to prepare this, but it really is a great low carb option. We love the miracle noodles with our spaghetti sauce. So you'll hear me talk more about that. I plan to do a video just on how to do it, because when you initially open it, you think there's no way we can eat this. But if you prepare it correctly, it is really, really great for your low carb way of eating. So jambalaya is one night, and I'm counting on enough leftovers for lunches. And then I'm going to do steak with a cauli mash, and this is steak I picked up at my Aldi's shop. It's $4.79 at our local Aldi's for these. Now I'll have to do 2 packs to feed my family, but between this and the cauliflower, I can put dinner on the table for about $10. And I might throw a fresh salad or some other vegetable with it, but that's really enough for the 4 of us. This is going to be fathead pizza. You use mozzarella, and of course I'll shred this up, but mozzarella, some almond flour goes into the crust. Make the crust up ahead of time. It's super for that, and you can just make the crust up, put it in the fridge, and then when you're ready to use it, put whatever toppings you want. I'll use a little bit of tomato sauce, and sometimes we don't even use that. And then I'll have a sausage warmed up. We've got pepperoni, black olives, whatever toppings your family enjoys is perfect to go on top of it. The fathead pizza crust also freezes really, really well. And if you haven't made fathead pizza crust, it's fantastic if you're missing pizza or anything Italian. So that's going to be something that's easy for me to make, put in the fridge, and I'll make them small enough that if we're all in different directions on a weeknight, we can pull that out, put the toppings that we want, and put it back in, and everybody can have a different topping. You can even do a barbecue chicken pizza with it, with the leftover chicken that I didn't use from this. So that's what I could do. I could take 1/3 of that, cook it, set it aside, use my low carb barbecue sauce, cheddar cheese, chicken, a little thinly sliced onion, and do a barbecue chicken pizza with this instead of using these traditional toppings. Lots of different things you can do with that, and we haven't had that in a while. And then I'm going to do salmon. I found this, again, this was part of my Aldi shop. It's wild caught. It is a product of the United States. I did check on that. And so I'm going to do that. And probably with this, we may have leftover cauli mash. But this is some bacon. This is Trader Joe's ends and pieces. So I'll brown this up in my cast iron skillet, get the bacon fat there, chop up the cabbage and fry it. So it will be fried cabbage with the salmon. And the salmon I probably will bake. I may do some pan frying with it. We'll see. I'm not great with fish, but with the salmon, like I said, hopefully I'll get a little fish in my folks. And then this, again, I'm going to do meatballs, and I found the ground beef on sale. Now, some of this I will make burgers to set aside for lunches because we do love our plain burgers with cheese and bacon for lunch. But this is going to be a marinara meatball. It's a fantastic recipe from I Breathe, I'm Hungry. And actually a friend recently made me aware of it. And she showed a picture of it, and I was just drooling, even though I'd already eaten dinner and wasn't hungry at all. So you put some mozzarella cheese in and different things, of course no wheat and very, very low carb, and you serve it with a marinara sauce. Now I may make my own, but if I'm in a hurry, if it's one of those nights, weeknights where we have a lot going on, I can always use my jarred sauce. And I will just I will cook the spinach, the frozen spinach, and have the meatballs with the spinach and the marinara, and again more mozzarella, and that's going to be our meal for the week.